Hey, JC here again for Retired Cheap Fat Asia. I want to talk today about scams, and you know, there's a lot of scams that go on where people live and they've got money, and they come, and there's a lot more lax laws protecting consumers. You have more opportunity for scams and scammers. So I want to talk about one. There's a little bug flying in front of the lens right there. I wonder if you can see him. Anyway, I want to talk about one that I know about personally because I got caught up in it. And I consider myself pretty good at, you know, looking at people and getting a good first impression. And I've only been wrong a few times in my life, but one of them was when I was living down in Pattaya. And I'll tell you about that one so that you can learn from my mistakes. I was actually doing some remodeling of condominiums down there, and so I was remodeling the condominium, and the guy I called up to do air conditioning work showed up and installed an air conditioner for me. And this guy had a really good reputation around Pattaya. You know, he's well liked. He had a number of businesses. He had a newspaper and the air conditioning business, and like I say, he'd been around a long time. Dug into the community. I think he'd been there 10 years or something, maybe more. And so anyway, he approached me and said, look, I got this project that's going on you might be interested in. So he told me about the condominium that he was going to build on Jomtien Beach, which is just outside Pattaya, on the southern side of Pattaya. A little bit quieter. It was down on the end where it was really nice and quiet, and so I went out there and took a look at the property, and he actually had a paper from another person, big business person in Pattaya that owned the land, said that he had permission to build on it, and he said, would you be interested in buying a unit? And I said, yeah. It was, I think it was 32,000 baht a square unit, or a square meter or something. It was about $1,000. So for a decent sized unit, it was, you know, 50,000, something like that. And I said, yeah, this would be really good. It'd be a good investment, because I could see it was like there was a restaurant between us and the beach. I said, this is a great opportunity. You know, it's going to really grow in price. Even once it's completed, I'd be able to flip it and make money. So I agreed to do this and paid my money up front. Not such a good thing to do. And my wife ended up sending some emails for the guy at the office and doing a little bit of work here and there, just piecework. She didn't really work for him full time, just little bits and pieces. He'd send emails out to people and stuff like that. And so anyway, every time he'd draw up a contract or something, he'd call me up and say, you know, hey, yeah, I got a contact or a lead. Would you show up and have these people sign the documents? And you can be the witness. I said, sure, because what I figured was the faster we get these things built, the faster I can flip mine or live there at the beach. And this was a good thing. So I wanted to help out get this thing built. So I'd show up, you know, the people had any questions, I'd call them up. Hey, these people have a question, what's the deal? And he'd answer the question. And so that was my role in this thing. And we sold out like the first unit. And I was all excited. You know, we're going to build these things, and I'm going to have my condominium unit. And anyway, he said one day that some Australian company had offered to buy out the company. He was going to go meet with these people, and he came back and said, hey, good deal. You know, this Australian company is going to buy out the place. They got more money than I do, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he had this story. And so we met one last time for lunch. He said, I'm going to turn this over to the other company. And you and your wife, you know, she sent emails and stuff. Will you sign these non-disclosure agreements? And so I figured, what the heck, sure, no problem. And so I signed the thing, and he disappeared. And my wife, because she'd gone into the bank and asked for information every once in a while, she went to the bank, and turns out the money was gone. And was like, oh, this is not good. So people started emailing the email account that she had access to, saying, you know, well, where are you, what's going on? And I was looking at this thing, so I had an email address for him, a personal email address. So I emailed him and said, look, what happened? You know, you didn't show up. People think you scammed them and took off with the money. And he says, I'll sue the bastards, you know. And no way, I'll sue the bastards. And that was all he said. And I never heard from the guy again. And so, needless to say, my money was gone, and all these people's money was gone up to this day. And this was 7, 8, 9, 10, about 4 years ago, I guess now. And as far as I know, nobody's ever gotten any money back. I don't know if they ever found the guy. And of course, I couldn't say anything because I signed a non-disclosure agreement. And because the guy was American, in American court, criminals can sue honest people. So I just kept my mouth shut and hoped that one day, you know, the project would be built, and I'd show up with my contract and say, this is my unit. But anyway, the people that I met were really great people, you know, most of them. And, you know, I feel really bad about my situation, about their situation. My situation is even worse. A lot of those people were making payments. I paid in full, and guess who was left with egg on their face? Me. You know, I'm the one that saw these people. I mean, that was really smart about this. And, you know, my reputation, honesty, and integrity is like one of my #1 values. So it really made me feel bad and made me feel like an idiot. So what I want you to learn out of all this is you got to do your due diligence if you're going to buy something. And so get a lawyer. If the property has already been bought, make sure that they have a deed for the property. Go to the land office. Make sure that they own the property, because they can't really, by law, build unless they own the property. So make sure that that's taken care of, and get a lawyer. And do as much due diligence as you can. Don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. And so avoid any kind of scam. That's all I can tell you. But I got hoodwinked into that one. And I'm sure a lot of people felt that, you know, I was responsible, or I was some way involved in this company or whatever. But not me. I didn't have anything to do with the account or the company or anything. I just thought this guy was a good guy. So be careful, all right? Hope that's been helpful. I'm gonna start a membership section, and we're gonna have a lot more videos like this of information I think people should know. But maybe it's not for the general public, only for people that are really, really interested in going, because, you know, there's good and bad of every place you could live, and so that's the lesson in it. But be careful, and I'll be talking to you in some more videos. All right? So what do you cop? Remember, there's always an option.